Hey guys, welcome to this episode of Oz Outdoors, and this time you're going to ask what is going on with my bike. Have a look at this. So the battery's pushed out, there's cables and things exposed here, and there's a big hole here, and that is to do with the key barrel. Here's your battery, the 20 amp hour battery, which only just fits inside. And what I've done, just have a look around here, green light's on, so it's done. But back around here, of course, battery's unplugged. These cables are your red and green. So have those plugged in, disconnect your battery and do a recharge. And this is a different plug that I use. So it's a flush fit, but it clips in and it won't pull out. So you can't accidentally pull that out. And you've got to squeeze that button there down and this comes out. According to the Stealth website and their instructions, that does a BMS reset. Now, I've ordered a new Stealth key and key barrel set, posted to me from Melbourne up to here in New South Wales in Australia. That is 65 Australian dollars. So it's $35 for the key and barrel. That is this part, and $30 for postage. Thanks very much. I really have no choice. I did look at aftermarket key barrels. None were the right size. This will be plug and play. It is a correct and it's a genuine Stealth part, so that's the way I'm going to go. I have an issue with the battery. And on the last ride we did, I got home with 61.7, I'll show you the photo, kilometres, and 0% on the battery. Now I left it switched off overnight, so 24 hours later, hadn't touched the bike, haven't charged it, haven't plugged it in, turned it back on. She's back up to 32% battery. I'm thinking my battery's not going to last much longer. Now I've just had a close look at this plug. Look at that. There you go. Oh, there you go. So that's broken. So that needs to be replaced. So we're going to swap that plug for this one, the SAE. So that's going to be a nice quick disconnect in future. So let's get that one swapped out. And also that'll get the other end of that will go onto the new key barrel wiring when that arrives. But let's now go and have a look at what's come in the mail today. So we do have a new key barrel and key. So this will show you what it's like. Now it is a slotted fit. There's a keyhole slot in the bike. Just there where my finger is, there's a keyhole slot. So that will need to go in there, and then it's a push fit. So nice and simple, spring-loaded prongs or tabs each side, and that'll pop in. Those ones broke, the flimsy plastic broke on the other ones, and this is a much more sturdy SAE plug. Little tip for Stealth there, and use these instead next time. But yeah, let's get that swapped out. Now one of my tips is using these heat shrink pre-soldered tubes that you can get. These work really quite well. So they've got a bit of solder built in, and that's all heat shrink tubing there. So it'll solder the wires and heat shrink it all in one go. Bit of heat shrink over the wiring is always a nice finish, and good insulation, good protection. Can't go wrong with that. And pushing those ends together, we'll hit it with the heat gun. Oh, look at that. after you've done a ride, make sure you check these bolts. There is one in particular, which is this one. It's quite stubborn. It likes to come undone. And you can see here on my panel here from this screw coming loose and constantly putting a screw back in, I've lost some of the powder coating there. I do have a spring washer on that one as well. And we're just going to get that plug and all this wiring all tucked nice and neatly up inside in the front there. Looking out for that keyway I mentioned, which goes in this slot. Pop that in, and there we go. And now what we need to do is just put a bit of foam padding in here, help keep the cables from flopping around to the side. And the massive air jumps that we do. I am going to be looking at upgrading that battery possibly sooner than I expected to. I've had a little trouble lately where I'm not getting the range I used to anymore. We'll get this turned on and we'll have a look exactly how many cycles I've done on this battery. So while we're talking tightening bolts, always check your crank bolt down here too on your pedal arm. Check that crank bolt, make sure that's nice and tight, because if that works loose, and they can, you'll get a little bit of a clunking feel in your pedaling, and you might start to worry that there's something wrong with the gearbox. I found it was actually just a loose crank bolt. So check those. Yep, just double check them all. Once you've got all these bolts in, we'll go around and start to torque them all up to, remember, 1.5 grunts. Here we go, 260 cycles and 10,723 kilometres I've done in around about 3.5 years. So how much does the Stealth battery weigh out of the B52? Let's have a look. 13 kilos, guys, for your Stealth B52 battery. Now this is a spot down in here where you will get rust. There are drain holes underneath here. You should check and make sure that they're clear, not blocked up. So there they are there. There's one drain hole right there, and there's another one over there. So check and make sure that those drain holes are clear.